And I have to mention this, you've got the fight with Mosley and Mundine we talked about earlier being cancelled. They say it was down to money. You fought James Toney, was that in Australia?
It was, yes.
It was Australia.
Yes.
So you obviously know more about how that works. Golden Boy is saying that money wasn't paid into an account before the fight, and that's supposed to happen. Is that regularly what happens with Australia?
To be perfectly honest, I would love to be in the ballpark of the money they're talking about in regards to Mundine and Mosley. It was a much lesser fight for me, so obviously it was probably all paid up front, to be honest. They're talking like $1.5 million, stuff like that, so that sort of money just doesn't come easy. So it is part of what we call in Australia the Mundine Circus as well. There's a lot of hype, a lot of talk, but not really much action. So he's a great fighter, and some of the people in his camp are great fighters, but they are, I suppose, not to be trusted and things like that as well. So it's a bad thing to have sort of everyone else look upon the Australian public, the Australian boxing in that regards, but that's just one sort of incident. We're not all like that, and most of the time everything goes off quite well.
And if that fight came together and Mosley does fight Mundine, apparently looking at making it in America now, how do you think that fight will go? I
think Mosley all the way. Mundine's definitely fast. He's got the skill and everything else, but over the last few fights that we've seen, he's just sort of lost a step. He's behind the step that little bit. He fought Geale, and Geale basically put a boxing clinic on. So I don't think he holds a candle to Mosley, but there.
Speaking of Geale, he also fought Darren Barker and come off worse and lost his title in that fight.
This is right, yeah.
What did you think of that fight, and did you expect him to do better in that fight than you did against
Yeah, I was expecting just that little bit more. I highly rate Geale. At the same time, once you get up to the very high level, if you have a bad night, you're going to sort of feel it. So I think that's what happened on the night. Yeah.
And is there anything else you might want to say? Anything you want to say to your followers? Any warnings to Richard ahead of the fight?
I'm not the sort of person to sort of sit there and trash talk and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, Richard's prepared. He sparred Klitschko, Hay, and whoever else. I've obviously prepared for a big fight as well. So yeah, we'll shake hands, give each other a hug, and then on the night we'll do our business. You know what I mean? So basically, I just want to thank everyone, obviously Australian public, but also all the UK fans and everything that have got behind me. I'm very thankful to be where I am at the moment, 7-10-0, and just looking forward to a bigger future. I copped a lot of slack for saying that basically James Toney wasn't the fighter that he used to be, which 100% that's exactly right. But at the same token, I'm not the fighter that I'm going to be.